Hi everyone. I welcome you all for today's Alumni Talk. I hope I'm audible, right?
Yes, you are loud and clear.
Yes. Uh, Today we have our speaker, Mr. Sethupathi, with us. He's going to share his wonderful insights and journey and all these experiences. I welcome you too for the session. Before we start on this one-to-one questionnaire kind of a thing, I would like to congratulate you for the wonderful journey that you have come through. Fortunate enough, I got a chance to view your LinkedIn profile. It pretty much sounds decent for me. Uh, I see that you have completed your graduation in 2018, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yes, like
Yes.
2018.
Yeah. And I see that you have started your course in the year 2019. Just a curious question from my side to you. What excited you to take up this field, which deals with the data? Why? What interested you to take up this?
It's a good question actually. After my graduation, I went for an internship in a startup. They were doing developing some like apps for US based companies. So
Mm-hmm.
like I started my career as a backend developer. So I like then I learned about Python and Django frameworks and MongoDB and related things. Then while learning Python, I got to know like there is a huge field in like
Small
data.
interruption. I'm sorry. Can you please turn on your video?
One second.
Yeah.
I'll just. Mhm. Oh, you're able to see me, right?
Yes, yes.
Cool.
Go ahead.
So cool. I was saying that like as like working there, I was like started as a backend developer. I got to know about Python and the use cases and applications of Python. So
Mm-hmm.
like that, I got to know about like data science, like machine learning, and then AI. So like I wanted some place to start my career in AI.
Okay.
So that's how I landed in DataMites.
Right. I understand that you have a lot of passion towards this field, if I'm
Mhm.
not wrong.
Yeah.
So, can you please walk us through your journey from being a student at DataMites and successfully landing your first job? If I'm not wrong, that as a data engineer at Matchmove.
Correct.
That is what your LinkedIn says.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like it was like while I was studying, like this was the like that is the time data might started, I believe, like very initial time. So
Mm-hmm.
like Ashok, like Mr. Ashok is my career advisor, and
Okay.
he teaches us all of us. It's like we were around bunch of 40 people, I guess. So like the experience was good. So I learned so many new things about machine learning mainly. I had prior experience in Python, so that is not a big thing for me,
Mm-hmm.
but machine learning is like one thing I like deep basics he covered very well, and then like some like the projects, capstone projects, and then like that certification project, everything was good. So
Okay.
like Matchmove is something like I got placed into through Insta. That's how I
Sorry.
started. Like after that, like, I didn't get any placement, but
Mm-hmm.
that time like placement was like they were in. I told right, so very initial stages. So
Yeah.
like I was looking out and I landed in the job.
Right. So you started your career as data engineer. So how
Correct.
was your preparation for it? So can you tell us the pre-interview phase? Like what was your learning pattern? Because I still understand machine
Mhm.
learning, statistics is very different from your data engineer
Correct.
aspect.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. So
Mm-hmm.
like the main thing is like actually they called me for data analytics engineer. So
Okay.
like I just like attended the interview. The only thing is like my preparation was totally on Python only. So
Mm-hmm.
like I own YouTube courses and then Udemy and then like HackerRank, HackerEarth, those kind
Mm-hmm.
of platforms to enhance my Python skills. So that is the main thing like I used to learning for learning purpose. And yeah, it's pretty much like very simple. The interview was like fully focused on Python. That time it was like data field was blooming. So like it is
Okay.
so their questions were mainly focused on Python. How will you create a data pipeline using Python? What are the
Mm-hmm.
databases you will consider? And
Mm-hmm.
somewhere SQL questions came. but Python questions were most. Yeah.
One more. So, is there any specific challenges that you face during your interview process? I clearly understand that you have a strong hold on hands-on experience on Python, but
Hmm.
other than that, is there any specific challenges that you came across?
Yeah. Main thing was like data structures. Like as a data analytics engineer, I was like not into the data structures most, but I
Uh-huh.
got a question on data structures that time. So like I still remember that question. It's like I have to do bubble shot and I think digital algorithm. They asked two questions on top of that. I struggled a
Okay.
bit, but somehow I
Mhm.
managed it. So it went good.
Right, right. I do struggle with data
Yeah.
structures a lot. Yeah. So, how many interviews you have gone through before you got this offer?
I think two interviews.
Two only, pretty
Yeah.
much good. Oh, that's great, actually. So, how was your question? I mean, I understood that it was more of practical. Were there
Mhm.
any theoretical questions asked? Or when it comes to data analysis aspect or something, I still see a data transition from engineer to analyst further
Correct.
time, right? Was there
Correct.
any data set given to you? You were supposed to analyze it, give insight. Were there such kind of a questions asked?
Yeah, it was there. There are some scenario-based questions, but
Mm-hmm.
like the scenario-based questions are like I have also conducted so many interviews myself. So like
Mm-hmm.
mostly the scenario-based questions is like to identify whether the candidates are like able to understand the problem properly or not. That is the
Okay.
first thing. So
Uh-huh.
that is the first thing. The second thing is like how I'm approaching the problem. That is the second thing.
Okay.
That is the main things they have noticed from me. And apart from that, as an analyst, mainly all the questions was raised from SQL mainly, and
Mm-hmm.
then second thing is like BI tool, any BI tool.
So is it okay that if we get the hands on in any one of the BI tool, or is it so there's
Totally
always
okay.
a debate versus Power BI versus Tableau
Yes,
or
yes.
QuickShot?
No, simple. Like, see, I have came across around 8 to 9 BI tools, like
Mm-hmm.
till in this 5 years. The one thing I noticed, like all the BI tool, like almost same, 70%. The only
Mm-hmm.
thing is like you have to be like 100% skilled in one BA tool. That is more than enough. That's what
Mm-hmm.
people expect.
So is there any difference? Look, for example, if you're talking about the powerful BI tools like the Tableau and Power BI, is
Hmm.
there any major difference that we need to keep an eye on it?
No, actually, if Power BI is like little bit different actually. Like
Mm-hmm.
it is totally based on DAX queries.
Mm-hmm.
And Tableau is like totally based on SQL based calculation fields and those kind of
Mm-hmm.
things. The only thing is like you have to understand like what is the question, what is the
Mm-hmm.
insight. It should not be like I'm just giving some tables, I'm just giving some charts so that like
Mm-hmm.
business users can take it. It should not be like that. The
Mm-hmm.
first question should be like if I'm giving something in the BI tool, what is the end result taken by the business user? They have to take some decision on top of this. Like that, we have to think and we have to build. That is the only thing we have to know, like keep in mind.
Okay, so you tell that if we are given with a problem, the way we approach that problem is the one thing which an interviewer would keep an eye on it.
Exactly. Like for all the analyst, I'm saying, not for data
Yeah,
engineers, but
yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
analysts.
Yes, yes, yes. So moving further with your journey as your LinkedIn says, I see a job transition from data engineer to analytics.
Yeah.
Like why this transition? I still understand machine learning to analytics to engineer, very different fields.
No. Actually, like data engineer, like that was kind of a mid-range startup company. So,
Mm-hmm.
like I started my career at that time. I was like I'm like very less experienced. Like while joining Matchmo, I was like nearly 1 year experienced.
Okay.
So that time, like I know about Python and I know about basic SQL. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So like my career change happened there only.
Mm-hmm.
We have completed all the development work of data engineering. So it was in maintenance platform. So I just
Okay.
wanted to like explore more in data field. So I just like tried a little bit of like dashboarding, reporting, and then data
Mm-hmm.
modeling and building it barrows. So that's how I just moved into data engineer to data
Uh,
analyst. Just an
yes.
accident.
Okay. Was this domain change seem difficult to you, or you were okay with the kind of works that you were getting on day-to-day basis?
No, at the end of the day, Like it feels like I'm working in data. Like my goal is like I want to somehow see myself in next 2 years or 3 years in AI.
Yeah.
So that I wanted to know the end-to-end journey of data. So
Okay.
that's why, like, initially, if you see, I've done a certification of data scientist. I have
Mm-hmm.
placed as a data engineer. Then I
Mm-hmm.
moved into data analyst. Now I'm trying to move into ML engineer. So
Yes.
step by step, I just wanted to go ahead. That's it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I can see
Mm.
that pattern. So as soon as I saw your profile, this was the first question which come into my mind. Why
Mm.
this data transition from here to
Mm.
there to there? Right.
Yes, like simple. I wanted to know the end to end, like what is happening behind the. That's
Uh-huh.
it.
Yes. So what were the technologies, the tools you as a data engineer you were using in your profession?
Like tools, like in my first company we were using entirely Python framework, and then current company also we are using entirely Python frameworks. But
Okay.
like I remember in one company we have used Talent tool, Talent for data engineering, and
Mm-hmm.
apart from that, that's it. Like no other tools. Everything, whichever company I'm going, I'll try to build in Python only. So that's how it goes.
Okay. So we do have much of viewers here who is very keen to know what are the key aspects of I becoming a data engineer. What is
Hmm.
very important is that we have so many things, right? We
Correct.
have Kafka, we have AWS, we have this,
Hmm.
that. Like, what is the baseline for it?
No, for a data engineer, you should be like proficient in any one of the programming language, either Python
Yeah.
or like the preferable language. But the
Mm-hmm.
thing is like you should learn Spark also because like now, like in 2024, data is playing a major role. Everyone is into data.
Mm-hmm.
So all the companies who are hiring for data engineers, they are looking into Spark. Either you should know like Spark using PySpark or using Scala, whatever like is like preferable for you. So Spark is
Right.
the next thing, and then you should learn about how to build a data warehouse. Second
Okay.
thing, and
Mm-hmm.
how to like handle like how can I say scheduling the jobs and creating automating the data pipelines. These are the
Mm-hmm.
major things. And
Okay.
obviously AWS like is like one good, or Google Cloud is also good.
So
Anyone.
if it comes to databases,
Databases, like I will not say any prefer like specific database because like you should be focused on both OLAP and OLTP. So
okay.
that is the best way to approach actually for a data engineer. We can't like specifically say this is the database you have to focus. So like go ahead with it. We can't. We should not say like that. The only thing is like you should learn one relational DB and you
Mm-hmm.
should learn one
Knowledge.
transactional DB, any warehouse like Amazon Redshift for warehouse and MySQL, Postgres for relational DB. It's up to
Mhm. So about Kafka?
Kafka is like real-time streaming is good, but the one thing is like if you're going for at least like MNC level or like
Mhm.
some like AI level company, they will
Mhm.
use Kafka. But there are two things in Kafka. Like for
Mhm.
a data engineer, most of the time I've noticed they will not focus on Kafka entirely. They will expect you to learn basics only. So that is
Okay.
it. Hmm. So like sender node, like React receiver, that is more than enough.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So I understand if you want to learn Spark, PySpark, is learning about Hadoop very much important. So that I see the entire framework of Spark or Hadoop learns on master or slave node or XYZ. Is learning this basic is important, right?
Exactly, correct.
Okay, so I understand. So we all understand that you have a good hold on data engineer to analyst too.
Hmm.
So can coming to analysis part, so can you tell us what are the tools, technologies, or applications that you use
Hmm.
at present?
At present, I'm using Power BI.
Okay.
Like Power BI is the main tool, like for all the like reports, dashboards, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And apart from Power BI, I worked on Tableau, Seisons, Periscope, Zoho Analytics, and then Click, and then yeah, these are the BI tools I've been worked on.
Okay, so is predictive analysis important as a data analyst? Getting to know about it?
No, actually, not as of now. If you're applying
Okay.
for a fresher role, it is not important that much. But
Okay.
if you're applying for a senior role, people
Mm.
expect you to like know all about.
Okay. So how about the intense level of SQL and Excel? As a like assume I am a fresher, I need to take up an analysis course. So what level of SQL and Excel do I have to know?
Excel, no. If you ask me,
Mm-hmm.
you just need to know like how Excel works. That is more than enough. Second
Okay.
thing is like SQL is like you should be like very proficient in SQL. So for an
Ah,
analyst, SQL is
okay.
like 100%, like 100% you should be very clear. Excel is like somehow like basics is fine. Because
Basics
you're
is
not
fine.
going to, yeah, basics is fine. You're not going to create any like automation Excel for them.
Okay.
Everything they will expect you to do in either in any programming language or any BI tool.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, as a fresher, we have a lot of questions what an experienced person can answer is. So, the first question always everybody will have is how, so if I'm doing some projects, how to portray that projects on my resume? Like, this is a basic question. Everybody
Mhm.
has a confusion.
Correct, correct, correct.
Hmm.
Actually, I want to see like so many fresh resumes. The thing is like, if you're building a resume, don't put your personal details. That is my first advice. Second thing
Okay.
is like, if you're giving you a project, the main thing is like you have to create some unique project, and either you should be clear in the abstract properly and what is the end goal of the project. Mention that clearly. Don't
Okay.
give in paragraphs like 15, 20 line paragraphs. Don't give in that. At least
Okay.
make it pointers and
Mm-hmm.
within like try to explain it within 6, 7 lines. That is more than that.
Okay. So you tell like abstract and the end result is
End
still enough
result.
if you are doing any projects.
Correct, correct.
Right. So skills you just answered. So how do we start the job search? See, this is one question. What
Mm,
are the job search? What portals to go in? How to
mm,
respond back? How to build the connections?
mm.
Yeah.
The main thing is like seriously, like now, like data market is like going little down. If you ask
Huh.
me, the only main thing you have to do is like create connections in LinkedIn. So
Okay.
first thing, and then I would prefer Insta hire and then hiring for data. Like most of, if you wanted to land a job in like startups, prefer I will suggest Insta hire only. And
Okay.
the second thing is like try to clear the LinkedIn assessment test as a fresher
Mhm.
because that will help you the hiring manager to notice your profile at least. Like
Okay.
for Python or database, there are so many LinkedIn assessments are there. So
Mm-hmm.
try to clear as many as possible so that your profile will be highlighted.
Yeah, I see a lot of assessment that you have cleared, right?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. Uh, so, so what kind of projects do you suggest? So I still understand I cannot ask a
Mm,
question. It will be very domain specific, interest and such.
mm,
So what was your idea? So we all know that we have skills. How do we portray? We need to do some internships or
mm,
projects.
mm.
So at this phase, what was your thought about the projects that you were taking up?
Okay, like no, you're asking for my projects
Yeah,
about.
yeah. I'm asking about you. How was your phase at that
Oh,
point
okay,
in
okay.
time?
That time, like, yeah, I was like, that time I was very new to like machine learning and projects. So I've done
Mhm.
my college project, but that is not also like we haven't done ourselves. So like that, actually, whatever the project I've done in DataMites, that was my first project, if you ask like properly. The
Okay.
first thing is like I refer to Kaggle projects, and
Mhm.
I tried myself to like go familiar with those projects and try to understand what is happening, like why they are doing this, like why we have to do that, like that. That's how I
Mhm.
started with the projects.
Okay. Let's say, for example, I'm taking an interview, and the interviewer asked me, "Can you let us know about the major project that you have done?"
Mhm.
So, how would you answer those sort of questions?
No, the thing is like if like for a fresher, if they're asking like that means the only
Mhm.
thing is like you have to give some attractive answers to the interviews. Like I would suggest to go through the job description properly. They would
Okay.
expect if some like someone who is hiring is asking specifically what are the projects you have done means they're expecting you to answer the problems whatever they are facing somehow you have faced earlier.
Okay.
So like you try to read the job description clearly and try to
Mhm.
answer like related projects, somehow at least 10 to 20% related projects. Let's say they're expecting one classification algorithm specialist. So
Mm-hmm.
you explain yourself like, I have done some like whatever projects you have done, keep it apart. But say like I have done random forest or XGBoost models using a
Mm-hmm.
project like this, so I have like some experience on it. Then the questions will go on activation function, what is the confusion
Mm-hmm.
matrix, and like how what is the predictive analysis method, statistics methods, like that. Yeah.
Right. So, did your internship phase while you were doing a course at DataMites help you in your job findings?
Yeah, it helped me very well actually. I told na, uh, I was like I have learned like how to organize my coding part, how to create like I was before that I never into system design and data structures, and like I was not focusing on those parts. After
Okay.
like while doing the internship period only, I've met one guy, like his name was Shashank, like he was like very good friend, still he is in contact. But
Mm-hmm.
we were both like talking about how can we improve ourselves like that.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever the projects were given to us, based on that only I have started my career. We can say that. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Good to hear that. So, curious to know, how's your routine as a data analyst? How would your day go? So, what all you do in a day?
First thing is like I'll reach office around 9:30 or 10, 9:30 to 10:30 I'll reach my office.
Okay.
Then we will have the stand-up meeting. Then we
Uh-huh.
will decide like I have my juniors also. So I will assign them the tasks and I'll get the updates from them. Then
Okay.
like it will go like based on we are following agile method. So based on the tickets, I'll start the work.
Right. So, how do you manage your time? How do you balance both your professional and personal life together?
Initially, yeah, like I have like so much struggle on that actually. Work-life balance was like not at all there for me in last like in my previous organization, because that
Mm-hmm.
was like 2 to 11 p.m. shift. So I was
Okay.
working for US clients. So it was like 2 to 11. I was not able to balance my work life properly. But initial, like I would say initial 3 years, I was like struggling a lot to manage work life balance. But now, like after 5 years, I'm able to like manage it properly actually. Because
Mm-hmm.
now I know if some like some whatever related to, like whatever the work related things are coming, I'm able to sort it out in the office only. So
Oh,
I'm not bringing that into my home. So now it's clear.
right. So if you want to give a small piece of advice for a fresher or for a person who is seeing a transition to this data field, what would it be?
Simple. Trust in yourself. Self learning is the best learning, and never give up. These are the things. Nothing else.
Okay, so last one question from my side to you, Sethupathi. If
Mm.
there is one question we all struggle a lot, even though we have a lot of experience in hand. So how do we introduce ourselves? That will be a question.
Yeah,
So,
good. Yeah, it is like great actually. The thing
mm-hmm,
is like if you're introducing yourself for a data related interviews, the
mm-hmm,
thing is like within your introduction only, just try to cover your experience first. Then don't go for your schooling and all. Just cover
mm-hmm,
your experience first. And if you worked on any major project,
mm-hmm,
tell that. Then tell like how familiar with you, like what are the databases, data warehouses you are familiar with, and then if you have worked in any machine learning projects, explain that. Then that's fine. And make sure like the one thing is like how like most of the time whenever I have taken interviews,
mm-hmm,
how I will interview a candidate is like how they are explaining themselves in the tell me about yourself question.
mm-hmm,
Based on that only I will ask my entire interview will go.
mm-hmm.
So, like, make sure you are saying the right things in the introduction.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Right. We'll just give 2 minutes to the attendees too. Let's just see if they have any questions to you.
Sure, sure.
2 minutes. If you have any questions, you can still put it up on the QA. If not them, I still have one more last question for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Mm. There seems to be no questions, but one question
No, no,
from my side.
yeah.
So you just mentioned twice in the process that you take a lot of interviews. How do you judge a person? How do you take in that person as a right candidate or wrong? Like, how do you come to this judgment? I see. I also take a lot of interviews, but I
Correct,
just
correct.
want your perspective to it.
No, no, the thing is like we can't judge someone within 1 hour, 20 minutes of interview.
Yes, yes.
So, like as I told now, like whenever we are conducting interview for a data analyst, the
Mm-hmm.
main thing I'll notice is like whether the person is like how he the problem solving skills mainly,
Mm-hmm.
and how he or she is approaching the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Second thing is like this will decide the 70% of the process. Third
Right.
thing is I'll ask some like basic questions in SQL or some BI tool. If they're
Mm-hmm.
able to crack it, then I'll go with the scenario based questions.
Right. So the same perspective is with mine too. So if they're able to answer the basic questions, so we dig in
Mhm.
deep and ask the major questions.
Exactly,
Right. That
exactly.
is right. We have a couple of questions
Mhm.
from Pooja. So she says, as a fresher, should we apply for data scientist or analyst in sense of job abundance? If we know both job skills.
No, no, no. Never apply for data scientist as a fresher. That is my first advice. Never ever apply for data scientist because, like, you can apply if you're able to see some junior data scientist or like assistant data scientist that you can apply. Just like know one thing, data scientist is someone who should know everything about the data engineering, data analytics, and then like ETL pipelines, everything. And on top of that, he should be ML engineer also. That's how a
Mhm.
data scientist should be. So if you're applying for a junior data scientist, it's fine. Or else you apply for data analyst. That's what my suggestion.
Yeah, so another question from Rama. She says, hi, what would you advise for a non-IT person who is shifting to a data scientist profession?
Okay. For
Mm-hmm.
non-IT person, the thing is like they should, how can I say, they should put more effort on learning improving their skills in programming. So that is the only thing I can say. Apart from
Um,
that, I believe like their communication will be already good. So I'm still struggling to improve my communication. So I believe like communication is like second thing for a data scientist, and then yeah, ML models.
right. So we have one more question. There is Amar Sharma who has completed data science course. He's asking us a question. Should I start as a data analyst first or go directly into a data science role? I think this has already been answered.
Correct, correct, correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So as Sethupathi says, applying for an analyst role will be a good choice before we taking up a data science role. Right.
Exactly. Because like if you apply for analyst now,
Mm-hmm.
still you will get chances to work on machine learning. I'm not saying you will not get chances at all. Just think about how company works. The
Mm-hmm.
data scientist should be someone who should be able to handle the ML engineers. There is like no like n number of data scientists in a company. But there'll be multiple analysts will be there, multiple data engineers will be there, but one or two
Mm-hmm.
data scientists will be there. That also they will expect the data scientist to be at least like 6 7 years of experienced guy or someone who knows everything in the ML models. That's how they will expect.
Can you quickly wrap up in 1 2 sentences? As a data analyst, what are the things I should mention? Could you explain? That is his question again.
Okay, okay. For a data like as a data analyst, like you should mention that you have some like you should be able to understand OLTP and OLAP databases. First thing. Second thing, you should be proficient in SQL, and you should learn basic Python also enough for data analyst, if you ask me. And you should learn one BI tool properly, end to end. Everything you should know in one BI tool, at least one BI tool. Like if it's more than one BA tool, that's good for you, but one BA tool is mandatory. Apart from that, like you should be able to like communicate with multiple business users. So I would suggest like improvise your communication. That's it.
Right. Thank you so much. First of all, before we end the session, I thank you for giving your valuable time for us and sharing your exciting and beautiful journey. I wish you all the best and for all your future works, and I hope only the best come to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lakshmi. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, thank you so much.